I'm sure we've all heard of Krispy Kreme donuts. They have one of the most recognizable names in the whole donut industry. Today, we are gonna try to make these fabulous, delicious looking donuts from scratch at home. Will it be possible? I guess we're just gonna have to find out. For the first step, you're gonna need 2 packets of yeast and 1/3 cup of lukewarm water. And then we're ready to start making the dough. Now that you've been patient for 5 minutes, it's time to actually start making this dough. So what we're gonna need is 1½ cups of warmed, cooled whole milk, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of butter, 2 eggs, and 2 cups of flour. Now we need to mix this all up for 2 minutes on medium speed. Once you hit that 2-minute mark, you want to add 3 more cups of flour, totaling 5 cups of flour, and keep mixing. It's turning like solid quick. It's getting so thick. It smells like bread, that's for sure. Oh my god, guys, this is like, it's tough. Like, this is thick. Okay, so I would say this is basically at the dough form that we need it to be at. It is thick and it is ready. So the next thing we need to do is we need to Pam up a separate bowl. Spray the Pam everywhere. You can add the dough into that Pammed up bowl, allowing the dough to rise. It's gotta sit for 2 hours before. Oh, it's like holding a baby. And I know this probably looks like a lot of dough, but this could actually make you 12 donuts, so it's the perfect dozen. I don't know how to get this off my hands. What do I do? Oh my. So our copycat recipe tells us to cover up our dough with a clean cloth. So we're gonna be using a clean car cloth. Hopefully it'll do the same thing. Cover it like that, let it sit for 2 hours, the dough will rise, and we'll be ready to form up our donuts.
2 hours later.
First thing we need to do is we need to lay some flour out because we're gonna need to roll this dough. Let's check this thing out, shall we? Oh my god! Okay, it literally overflows. So we gotta take this all out at this point. You guys remember how sticky it was before? Now it's not as sticky. So we gotta roll this thing out. It says about, oops, it says about 1/4 thickness. There's gonna be flour getting everywhere. So at this point, I might as well tell you guys that I have some brand new merch up. By the time you're watching this video, where's my hat? I've been filming this whole part without a hat on. Back to what I was saying, I got some brand new merch out, so you guys can go check it out at brennentaylor.com. Just go look at what we have, all right? We got a black antisocial t-shirt. Jake has some hats out though, so go check them out, brennentaylor.com. Okay, we need to make this 1/4 inches thick. I honestly feel like, not even gonna lie, this is probably the right thickness.
I feel like it's pretty good.
So we have a special cutter here that is gonna actually make our donuts, and this is what it looks like. You pick one up off Amazon, and this should make the donut. Our first donut. It seems like a little weird donut, but it does expand. I mean, it's a donut. It might not be the prettiest, but let's just see what we can do here, okay? Okay, we forgot to mention, guys, we're making 3 different donuts here. We're making the glazed donut, which is the classic. We're making my favorite, which is the sprinkled donuts. And then we're doing one that I have never met someone who actually enjoys. It's the jelly-filled one. So I'm excited to try that as well. Here is our donuts. Now we need to make our jelly-filled ones. So what I'm hoping for is that this will make our jelly-filled donut. I think that'll work once it expands a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got our base done. This is our donuts essentially. First, we need to let them sit for 15 more minutes to see if they need to do any more expanding. So now is the moment of truth. It is time for us to put our donuts into our deep frying machine and praying, fingers crossed, that these donuts don't get messed up, because now is the moment where we need to do this right. I'm gonna grab one of these donuts, put it in there, let it float it out. Keep your eye on it. Once it turns a golden brown, you want to flip it. Our goal with these videos is try to make something that tastes like the food, if not better.
It's definitely getting fluffier.
Flip. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a nice donut. So you guys gotta also understand, we are gonna throw a layer of glaze on top of this, so this beautiful brown is about to turn glazy. First donut is done. Honestly, it's a little bit out of shape, but you know what? It's our first one. The rest are gonna look better. So you know what? Screw a time lapse. Let's just cut back when these are all in donut form. All right, our last and final donut is done. Honestly, take a good look at these donuts. For our first time, not only making dough, but making donuts from scratch, we did a very good job. I will say right off the bat, before the glaze even goes on, They look more like a mom and pop shop rather than Krispy Kreme because Krispy Kreme donuts are literally perfect. Each and every one is made by like a machine and it's perfect. These, you can see that they have their flaws. They do look more like a mom and pop shop rather than Krispy Kreme, but you know what? It's all about the taste. So now we gotta make what Krispy Kreme is most known for, the glaze. We have to make this perfect. This is what's really gonna secure the deal for us. So what we're gonna need to put inside of this glaze, 2 cups of powdered sugar, ½ cup of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 5 to 7 tablespoons of evaporated milk. One more for good luck. So now we're left with this. Come check this out before I start mixing it all up. Honestly, that doesn't look like glaze. Let's hope when we mix it up, it'll turn more glaze looking. You gotta understand though, the donut is almost the same color, so it might just give that glossy effect to make it look like glaze. Our glaze is done, but before we put it on our donuts, we need to put some in this extra Tupperware because we need to turn it into a strawberry glaze because I guess the sprinkled donuts, the stuff on top of it is actually strawberry glaze. It's like glaze on top of glaze. I don't know, we're just following instructions here. So we're gonna put a little bit into this other one. All you really have to do is add some strawberries in there. We're just gonna eye this. This is some strawberry jam. It should do the same effect. We're gonna put this in there. Let's mix this up. This should become strawberry glaze.
I can see it. I mean, it's vibrant.
Yeah.
But ours is natural.
Yeah, exactly. We can actually squirt a little bit of some red food coloring. It doesn't actually have any taste, so hopefully this will make it more vibrant for us.
Oh, yeah,
there we go. Now we're talking. So there is our strawberry glaze that's gonna go on top of the regular glaze to make the sprinkled donut. You can almost not even like see it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it might be easier just to dip it.
We'll grab our donut, put it in there. Oh yeah, flip it.
Yeah.
Place it back, let it dry.
Just do that, exactly.
Same thing right here. Flip it. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like glaze. Like,
yeah, it looks like we did like a maple glaze though.
Yeah.
Like it has a little bit of a tone to it.
Ours might be better just because it's more natural. We know what goes inside of it. You know what I mean?
Just a ton of sugar.
A lot of sugar, guys. We're gonna let them chill for a second. This is gonna be the test to see, will our glaze actually stay on the donut? Because as of right now, all the glaze we poured, yeah, they have a gloss to them, but it kind of looks like all the glaze is just pouring off. I don't know though, we gotta let them sit. So we're gonna let them sit for 10 minutes, let the glaze settle, and then we'll come back and we'll put some more glaze and we'll see how we're looking. We are attempting to make our sprinkled donut right now. We don't really know the best method of doing this because we've never made a donut before. I think honestly, maybe just pour it. I think we're maybe gonna get one solid sprinkled one. One opportunity, here we go. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's honestly, it kind of looks like it though, right? Wow, I'm low-key like hella impressed. There is our sprinkled donut. So now we're gonna let this glaze completely dry. We're gonna let it sit for 5-10 minutes. In the meantime, we are attempting, come over here. We are attempting to make a giant donut.
No way.
Mainly because we need it for the thumbnail. 370, 375, okay. How are we gonna do this, honestly? Because I can't just let it drop in there, it'll splash back. I think I need to put a jacket on, honestly.
Very slowly.
Yeah. Shit, dude, it's falling in. Dude, damn, flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. We got a full-on giant donut. This is a great time for you guys to subscribe right now. We're trying to hit 4 million subscribers. Oh my God, this needs to be flipped.
Yeah, hurry, 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 hurry.
Oh my God, Jake. My God, we have a huge mess.
All right, the other side needs to cook for like a second. You need to get it off. Done it, done it, done it, done it. You gotta get it off, you gotta get it off. Get it off, now.
So here's our donut. It honestly doesn't look good, but you know what? I think for the thumbnail, it'll do. This is the world's biggest, most deformed, wet, strawberry covered, sprinkled donut. That's the longest title I've ever had, but honestly, there it is. This is your average size, and this is our Big Papa. All right, now we need to make the infamous jelly-filled donut. Honestly, I've never had one of these in my life, so I'm looking forward to trying it. So what we have here are these pre-bought bags, just to top up like that. We're gonna need to stab the ones that are gonna be jelly-filled. So it's like this, we're gonna put this in here. This is the first time we're seeing inside of this donut. Looks like it's done, so put this in here, and we fill. There's one.
I think that worked pretty well.
That works pretty well. So we did it. We made donuts, gourmet donuts, if you will. Let's look at these side by side. What do we see, okay? So on our right here is the classic Krispy Kreme. As you can see, the glazed donuts look very glazed. The sprinkled donuts look absolutely beautiful. It's the perfect like amount of strawberry glaze on top. It just looks beautiful. It
looks like a machine.
Yeah, it literally does not look like a human made any of these at all. Let's look at ours, okay? Let's break them down. Yes, the glaze looks more like natural in a way. It doesn't look like there's any sort of glaze on top. They just look shiny. If we look at our sprinkled donut, this is the most good looking donut I have ever seen in my life, and that is no cap. The sprinkles fell perfectly on it. The strawberry glaze on top looks absolutely to die for. The one thing that I will say about them too, okay, is watch this. When I touch a glazed donut, you see how it cracks and whatnot?
Yeah.
This is a Krispy Kreme donut. But when we touch ours, that doesn't happen. But the glaze comes out on your finger. Like it doesn't actually ever really dry.
I feel like we literally made like the mom and pop donut.
First things first, a Krispy Kreme donut. You know what? We got these at our house for probably an hour now. Let's taste them, shall we? There's nothing like Krispy Kreme donuts, man. It's what I think about whenever someone says donut. I think of Krispy Kreme. But did we do better? That's the question. You know what? I don't want to be biased. I want to be 100% real. If they're not better, I will tell you. So here we go. So as you can see, I'm holding it very carefully because this is a sticky mess. Ours, of course, is. Yeah, on the bottom, all the glaze is there. It doesn't actually ever dry. But who says that's a bad thing? Let's taste it. Here we go. Perfectly cooked. We're 3 times softer than Krispy Kremes. I didn't even know that's possible. On the back end, looking at the dough and like the softness of the donut, ours are equally, if not softer than Krispy Kreme donuts. But the sweetness is really there with the Krispy Kreme. I think we needed either more glaze or more sugar or something that needed to dry on there. Krispy Kreme's actually stays on there, really allows you to savor the glaze no matter how long you've let the donut sit. That is one thing I will say about Krispy Kreme. But honestly, our glazed donut, it tastes like it's right up there with all these other mom and pop shops.
So wet.
And it's heavy though, right?
Ooh. You know what it tastes like?
What?
Those Ralph's donuts. Like the dozen of donuts that you buy like at the market.
So you're saying they're not that flavorful?
They're just like really like wet and sticky.
Out of ours two, who has the better glaze?
I'm gonna have to say Krispy Kreme.
Dang it!
But for our first time making donuts, I think we can definitely like compete with some mom and pop places.
Yeah, because keep in mind, honestly, this was our first batch of donuts. Like, I doubt the guy who made Krispy Kremes made one batch and was like, this is it, I'm making a store. You know, it very much, well, could be, honestly. Maybe he just had a knack for this. I've never had a jelly-filled donut. So
they scare me.
I'm nervous, man. I just don't like when there's like a hidden surprise. But as you can see, they did stuff theirs the same way we stuffed ours. Here we go, let's taste this thing, man. It's not bad.
I'm more scared of yours.
I don't like that jelly. That jelly, I don't know. It just doesn't taste fresh or anything like that. Let me taste mine, all right? Mine came from a jar too, so I don't really know. Here we go. It's the same jelly that's in mine. I know because I'm not too sure about it, but I do know that they taste exactly the same. That one actually had a lot more glaze on it. I don't know because there's little pockets. Maybe glaze got stuck in there. Now is the moment of truth, the moment we have all been waiting for. Look at these close up. Which one on camera looks more aesthetic? Be real with me.
On camera, the right.
I'm telling you, in real life, it looks the exact same way. It looks beautiful. I almost don't even want to take a bite of it. I almost want to take a picture of it. Ours smells fresh, ours smells good. This smells like it came out of something it should not have come out of. Let's just taste it though, shall we? My favorite donut. You can clearly taste that the frosting on top is dry. You can clearly taste the glaze is dry. It's a great combination taste. I'm not gonna lie to you guys and sit here and pretend like mine is perfect because it's not. Watch when I go like this. You see how wet that is? It's not supposed to be like that, I don't think. I will tell you that is the one thing I'm a little bit weary about, but let's just send it, shall we? Here we go.
It sounds juicy.
It was juicy, all right. Wow, that was actually super interesting because you can taste a hint of strawberry, the mix that we added in there. You can tell that that's in there, but it's not nearly as strong as the Krispy Kreme donuts. As the Krispy Kreme donuts, you kind of just taste like you're eating like an artificially flavored strawberry donut. That's kind of what that tastes like. I'm not saying ours is not artificially flavored because, to be honest, I doubt they're, you know, really putting strawberries in here, but I don't know. It really is a toss-up. Honestly, I think the only thing holding me back from my donuts is the wetness. If it wasn't wet, I think it would go down a lot easier because honestly, when you're having donuts, your mouth gets dry from all the bread. You want to have a glass of milk. Not with ours. You want to have a glass of more freaking glaze with this because that's just what it tastes like when you're eating it. Anyways, guys, that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, smash the thumbs up, pick up some merch, BrennenTaylor.com, and do me a favor, help me get to 4 million subscribers by clicking that subscribe button. Tell someone you love to subscribe as well. It really does help out. Honestly, guys, I love you so much, and I will see you later. Peace.